morning.
Morning.
Oh yeah, that's perfect.
You could just got a lot of. This is you let it out.
Oh yeah, it'll fit her. She doesn't have that big of a head.
Yeah.
This is perfect. This is all I need.
Then you put that chain. You don't need that?
No, sir. I just need to turn around, and I like to try to get them rode before it gets too hot.
Yeah.
I'll see you. I'll let you know.
Okay, let me know.
Okay, thank you. Oh yeah, I think I've used it before. Here we go again. Third day in a row. Patience, patience. Oh. Oh. That's a lot better. Come on. Went by my dad's this morning, and I got this this bit is the main thing I wanted. I don't know how he's got this rigged up with a curb strap that, I don't know. I got another curb strap in there. But anyway, it's a real nice bit. It's broke all over the place. Swivels on the sides. Broke up and down. Pretty cool. It'll work. I just got to get rid of this mess he's got on here. Oh, it's just wrapped. Oh! Let's drink some coffee, huh? Rusty, what are you scared of me for? I would really like to feed my mules grass hay. But there's nobody that raises grass. I mean, you can look at this country. There's not a lot of grass around here. Most of it's alfalfa that's farmed. Hey, look at that. It's a good way to get your head kicked. Most of it's alfalfa that's raised down in the valley where they irrigate. And especially this time of year, that first and second cut alfalfa is really, really hot. And honestly, I don't want to feed my mules alfalfa anymore. Now, those older mules I had, I didn't even think about it. I just fed them alfalfa and I never worried about it. They would get a little high sometimes if I fed them too green or too fresh in alfalfa. And, you know, first or second cut for sure. But I didn't really worry about it. You know, they did okay. Now, this mule, she's got a little bit more of a motor than those other mules did, especially Agnes. Agnes didn't have a very big motor. But like I said, she was safe and she went, and she had some qualities that's hard to find anywhere else. Or it's hard. She had some qualities that's hard to find in another mule, you know. I got high hopes for Bonnie. Her name is Penny. I don't know. I might change it back to Penny. I don't know. Will you guys let me know? Penny or Bonnie? It could be badass Bonnie or beautiful Penny, or not beautiful Penny, pretty Penny. But the other one's name's Cody, and I changed it to Clyde because I liked Bonnie and Clyde. But it could be Penny and Cody. Maybe it's bad luck to change their names, you think? Anyway, so I went down to Tractor Supply. Last year they had some grass hay. They had some 3-string grass bales. And they really weren't that expensive. And I bought, I think, 10 of them. And I fed it for a while. I like to feed it. But they didn't have any this time. They had these compressed bales. And it was 50 pounds of Timothy. Timothy, it looks, I guess there's some Timothy in there, but there's a lot of weeds in there too. So I bought one of those compressed bales, and it just doesn't go very far. 26 bucks too. So I'm gonna try to feed some beardless wheat hay. If you guys know anything about it, you know, give me a comment, let me know. But a buddy of mine, or a friend of mine bailed. There's no telling how many bales. They're big farmers. And he's got like, I was gonna buy like 8 one-ton bales from him, and hopefully it'll last me all year. It's beardless wheat, so it's not supposed to have the beard on it. When that wheat, if you try to feed it to your equine with that beard on it, they get a sore mouth. I guess a cow can do that too. But those little beard heads or whatever can get in their mouth and create a sore. And I dang sure don't want to do that. But we'll see. I don't know. I got to get some of that because I don't want to feed. If I could get some, like later on in the year, some bleached, what we call bleached or rained on alfalfa that's not moldy, but has been bleached and turned over in the field a few times. That's not bad feed to feed these mules. You feed them too green of hay, it's like a drug for them. They get really, really high. It's hard to ride them down. They get real boogery and stuff. Even if I fed Agnes too good of hay, she would get a little more energy than she normally had. I think it's me and this mule are starting to be buddies, I think. She's gotten where she has a little more respect for me. She's not trying to push me around or she had no fear of me at all, and she tried to push me around a little bit. But she's learned, and I didn't do it in such a way that I offended her. You know, it was just instant, just like that. She's doing good though, you know. Uno, where have you been? Ese uno, ¿qué pasó? Go on, go play. Oh no, it's Al. Al, go play, go play. Oh no, it's Timmy. These 3 dogs, Uno, Timmy, and Al, they're all brothers, litter mate brothers. And I call them the terrorists because, let me tell you what, when they were young, they were hard to handle. Go on, get out of my face. Go on. I'll let her eat a little more hay. Then I'm gonna see if this bit and the head stall fits on her real good, and if it does, I'm gonna mount up and ride her around. Looks pretty good. I like it. Time don't matter to me. I'm 1,000 miles from nowhere, and it's no place I want to be. Oh, I don't know. All right, girl. Guys, I did make a mistake. I forgot my boots, and these don't have a heel on them, and you're not supposed to ride anything without a heel, but I came too far, and this is the 3rd day, and I need to stick to the program. So I'm gonna ride her with my, I gotta tighten this up a little bit. I'm gonna try to ride her like this. She allows me to mount her without much of a fuss. Ho, ho. I'll just keep my toes in the stirrups here. What I want to do, walk her around, move her around, and try to keep her framed up. Keep her framed up right between my hands and between my legs. I just want to sit square on her. Let her move around a little bit. I want to feel her face here in a minute. Right now, I just want to keep her feet moving for a little while and feel her face. So far, she's real light, and I want to keep her just as light. And I tip her head to the inside, and I put that rein on the outside, and she gives me that nose and gives me that face back to come in. Right there, I give it right back to her instantly. That's what creates suppleness and lightness. Maybe not suppleness, but lightness for sure. Ciao, go on. Well, she don't want to step on a dog, that's a good thing. See, an equine are just like people. They have good sides and bad sides. She's just wandering a little bit. She's not staying to the right. She's not really staying between my hands. But she's not popping her shoulder out. I can see her looking off and wanting to go like right there. See her pop that shoulder out just a little bit. After I get her rode a little bit more, I'll be able to correct that. A little bit of resistance right there. Right there, that's pretty good. Just these dogs think we're going somewhere and they want to go. She's real relaxed. Oh, oh, oh. Stop, relax a minute. Then I'm just gonna barely ask her a little bit with my hands. I don't like the way she does her jaw. Whoop, there's a little step backwards. I give it right back to her. But I want to keep her framed where we were. Now again, just a little, whoop, right there. Look at that. Real light and real easy. Okay, again. Boom. They just have their own ideas about things. See, like right there, she's wanting to go out that way. That's okay. I'll just keep her correct. And that's when she's blowing that shoulder out, she's not staying between my legs and between my hands. I don't like her gapping that mouth like an alligator. Oh, oh. I'm just gonna make her give a little bit to my hands. Right there, look at that, golly. Now just a step backwards. Right there, it's good enough. A little pet on the neck. We did fine for today. What are you mad at me because we're not going lion hunting somewhere? Sorry, gotta train a mule. They told me the old man rode her. She was his favorite mule. The other mule, they said they put little kids on and everything, but like a horse trader, mule trader told me one time, beware of mules that little kids and old men ride because they're trying to sell them. But I trust them. I believe them now. This is a nice mule. Oh. She did a good job. I'm not going to make her trot behind the... I worry every time the dogs get around her because I don't know her that well. But she watches those dogs. That's another thing that I really noticed about her. I liked about her. And maybe I hope that maybe it comes from me coming out here for 3 days in a row and it just be me and her. I've been spending a few hours out here every day. I don't film it all, but because a lot of it's just boring, me sitting here with her. But I believe, hey guys, get over here. I believe, maybe someone correct me, but they really a mule will start to bond to you. And especially when they don't have another mule with them all the time or a group of mules. I see these guys and I don't mean to disparage them in any way. Maybe I do a little bit, but they're always riding out in a group. Man, take that sucker out in the middle of nowhere by yourself and see how they act. I mean, that was one of Brenda's problems, is when I rode her out by herself, she was so herd bound that we had fights, we had arguments. Now, that might start happening with her too, I don't know. But just from the little bit I got right there, and I want to keep things short and sweet. And I mean, now if she was high and stupid, I would have to keep, trying to get her tired, and I'd either do it by dragging her behind the trailer or if I could, get on her and lope big circles until she was real tired. But I got exactly what I wanted out of her today. I got on her without, and believe me, I'm not trying to tell people that I'm bringing some wild mule that's never been rode out here. I got to get those dogs. Those dogs found the biggest horny toad I ever seen over there. That sucker's that big. I thought they had a badger at first. We did catch a badger not too long ago, about 4 miles from here. Anyway, where was I at? Oh, I'm not trying to convince everybody that, you know, this is some wild bronc mule. But what this is a mule that I bought, I think worth the money, sight unseen, with just stories I had heard about her. And I didn't ride her when I bought her. I just wanted to get there and get out of there. I didn't want to mess with them. You know, I've been around equines and animals, you know, well, all my life. And when I got in the pen with her and I seen her and the way she reacted to me in her eye. Now, she was a little boogered of me. I walked up with her with my little camera. You're a nice mule, aren't you? You're a nice mule. That's okay. Always suspicious of something, aren't you? And she was kind of looky at that camera, but I don't blame her. She'd never seen one of those before. But you know, she had a kind eye. She was just about the right size. She was put together real well. And that, along with the stories, I didn't see any reason not to believe them, although I want to be careful. So I came up with this program, how I want to do her. And the next part of the program is I'll be out here and I'll trot bigger circles, try to keep working on her, staying framed up underneath me. And not, I don't know if you've ever rode colts, but they're usually like I call it like being sitting on a wet wash rag. They're just everywhere like this, you know, and you're trying to keep them framed up and in between your hands and moving the way you want to move. She did it really, really good. She did it really good to the left. Anyway, where was I? These dogs went back over there to see if they could find that horny toad. Anyway, I kept her pretty much framed up between my hands and my legs. Now, I didn't have my boots on, sorry. And I didn't wear spurs. I'll introduce spurs probably a little later on. I'll see how she reacts, but I need to be able, you know, get a little more attention. Going around in a circle there, she only tried to bow her shoulder out and kind of move away from me, you know, trying to do her own thing a couple times. I mean, I just barely asked her with my hands, and she stopped. And then I barely asked her again, and she took a step backwards. And then I lowered my hands, and I asked her for her face there at the end, and she tucked her nose and gave it back to me. She doesn't, that's one thing I noticed about her, is most of the mules I've had brace against pressure. You put pressure on them, like you push on their shoulder, they brace and push against it. You pull on their face, they brace and pull against it. I think the old man who started this mule did a really, really, really good job. I mean, because that's where it is when you start. If you're too hard on them, too severe on them, if you get in too big a hurry, I think you might hurt them a little bit, either with that bit or with your hands or however. And they start, when you put pressure on them, they think it's gonna hurt, so they brace against it. So you ask them nicely, not nicely, is that? You ask them softly, and you barely touch them. And man, the instant you feel a little bit of give to that, you give it back to them. That's what creates lightness. So we'll keep progressing with her. And the next time I come out, I'm gonna do some bigger circles, trot her more, keep her moving, and then we're gonna take off and make a little journey up into the hills. Let her walk through the rocks and climb the mountain, see how she reacts. I'll have my boots next time, and I might strap on some spurs depending on how she acts. But that'll be the next step. Then after that, it's just gonna be, I'm fascinated with these mules that they take to these horse shows, or not horse shows, these mules they take to these mule shows, or this mule that sold for $56,000, these other mules that I watched in the ring, how they rode around. I've had a lot of horses that would ride around just like that. As much as anything, I gotta get enough faith in her where I can take off by myself and cut across the wilderness. And when I get that going, I make some longer rides on her. I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna ride Clyde or Cody, whatever you wanna call him. I'll do him with the same program. I'm not as concerned about him. He's I can kind of tell by being around him, he's kind of a deadhead, kind of closer like Agnes. I can get him going, you know. I wanna see what he's like by himself. I I don't have a lot of faith that he'll be really good, but I think what he'll be is he'll make a really nice pack mule. And also, if somebody wants to go with me, he's gentle enough where he'll go with us and he'll just follow her. That's the way, when I bought Jet and, no. When I bought Jet and Jenny, that was my first mules. Jet's still alive, Jenny died, but that's the way they were. Jenny was terrible to ride out by herself. She was just miserable mule. And, but if she was going with Jet, she was fine. I put my wife on her, I put my grandson on her when he was little, and we went all over the place and she never had a problem. I mean, she just went with Jet. Anywhere Jet went, she would go. I would tell a story one time I was using her as a pack mule, and it was when I lived up there off grid, and I was out with the hounds, and I would just turn her loose and she would just follow along. But she would move out and graze and, you know, and get far away from Jet, and then she'd look up and here she'd come at a trot. Well, we were coming down the creek, and there's a place where the creek boxes in. It boxes in and the trail goes way up on the side like that and goes across the box and then comes down to the creek again. Well, she was on the other side of the creek and we were going and we came up on the other side. Well, she got on the other side where it was boxed in, and of course, you know, being a mule, she got panicky when she thought Jet was gonna get away from her. And she came off of that bluff. I'd never seen anything like it. There was like, I mean, it was probably about 3 times as high as this trailer, maybe 4 times, straight up, except there was one little ledge about a 1/3 of the way down, and she hit that little ledge on her front feet like that, and then her front feet went out and her back feet came down and she went down. And I mean, it was almost vertical, and she went straight down to that creek bottom, never missed a lick, came trotting right up behind us. She was a good mule for what she was, and I can imagine that Clyde or Cody is going to be about the same way. So, look at her eye. Look at her eye now. That's what I'm talking about, right there. 3 days, right there. Not looking around. Look at that hind leg. Remember I was on the first, when I was talking about at the ropings, how those hind legs are cocked up like that? Ha, that's a nice mule. All right, I'm gonna unsaddle her and get out of here. It's getting hot. Onward and upward. That is the watchword. Those little ripply clouds like that, and I can already feel it. I didn't check the weather. Probably should have. That means the wind's gonna blow hard. Every time I see those little ripply clouds up there that high in the sky, that's what I call them, ripply clouds. They probably got a name for them. I think the wind's blowing up high, or it's coming in, and it's gonna drop down. And let me tell you what, it can really blow out there in my round pen. I'm gonna go ahead and go through the motions. I'm gonna load her up and I'm gonna go out there and pretend just like we're gonna work. But if the wind's blowing, I ain't riding. The one thing that I won't do is I don't care about being out in the wind. I hate the wind. And I live in a heck of a place to hate the wind, but it makes everything miserable. This is the 4th day, 4th morning catching her. And this was the hardest morning I had catching her. I guess I probably should have filmed it. She just kind of, she's turning her butt to me, but not turning her butt to me like she's gonna kick me. She's turning her butt to me to keep her head away from me. I haven't resorted to it yet, but the last mule, this other mule I had, Gwen, I didn't film her at all. She was a bear to catch. I mean, she was a big old mule. She ran around that pen 90 miles an hour and you just couldn't hardly get her caught. So I'm pretty handy with a rope. So I just started roping her. And it took maybe 3 times of me roping her. And you know, you gotta be accurate. You can't, you can't go out there and try to rope them, throw your loop 15 times and beat their head half off. And then before you get them caught and pull them to you, you need to catch them the first time. And then they don't know any different. And so I went out there and I caught her 3 times. After the 3rd time, I'd walk out there. She might run away from me a little bit, but then it was like it clicked in her brain. She would turn and face me. And I'd walk up there, and after that, I didn't ride her much. After that, I just walk out there and pet her on the forehead, you know, and rub her jaw a little bit. And but yeah, I might have to start doing that with old Pretty Penny here, or Badass Bonnie, or whatever we want to call her. It irritates me when you got it, but it's that fourth day. It's I don't know. I know that, you know, eventually they're going to try you a little bit when they're made to work. I was hoping she would be a little more willing than that. Price might go down. It might not be $50,000. We'll see. She might go down to like $1,000 mule. Here we are again. Don't look like the wind's blowing. That's good. But it could start any minute. There's those same kind of clouds, those ripply clouds. Hope you're not mad at me from this morning, sweetheart. We had to just have an agreement. Wait, wait, wait. All right, come on. Come on, atta girl. You see those cows over there, huh? Okay, come on. Come on, Lori, you can jump off of there. Oh, Lori. Come here, Lori. Come here, Lori. You're a sorry hound. Wait, wait. All right, come on. Don't scare my mule. I'm gonna have to, I used to do it to my horses. I'd put that mane and tail in their tail and get this, she's got a big old knot in her tail right here. And you gotta get it softened up so you can get out, or you'll just brush out their whole tail. It doesn't make any difference to me, but I seen those that $50,000 mule, it had a real long, nice tail. And then also I got some clippers and I'll roach her mane, because that looks good too. I've never done that before with my other mules. Years ago when we showed horses, we used to roach their manes. And then that went out of style and the long manes came back, you know, came popular. One thing I don't think I would ever be into, and I know there's guys that do it. There's a guy on Facebook and maybe different. A lot of guys I don't know anything about is probably taking bad mules and trying to fix them. I have no desire in messing with a bad mule, none. I mean, there's certain things that might make them not as good as others. That's fine, you know, little things that I will put up with, but you know, a bad, mean mule that you're trying to fix, or a wild mule, I don't want nothing to do with them either. I'm too old. I want to ride something nice, and I don't mind. I want to take a mule like this that's already been broke, and I can tell that the man who had her did a really, really good job. I mean, she's amazing. The reason I'm doing it like I'm doing now is I want her to have trust in me. told you, that wind's starting to blow now. It's about 9:30 right now, 9 o'clock. You watch, by 10:30 it'll be howling through here. It's all right, I'm done. And it was a good day. Onward and homeward, that's where we're going.